All right, Lou Elizondo is again under attack, this time from Stephen Greenstreet and John Greenwald of the Black Vault. What are they alleging? Well, I'll let them explain, and then I'll give a rejoinder. So let's talk about the latest Lou Elizondo drama. Get in here, this is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, here's what Stephen Greenstreet says.
Pentagon document offers a peek behind the curtain at how military officials reacted to a former employee going public about UFOs. In December 2017, a front-page New York Times story about a secret $22 million Pentagon UFO program went viral around the world. The main subject of this article was Lou Elizondo, a former Department of Defense intelligence officer who had recently resigned. Elizondo claimed to have been the director of this UFO program for nearly a decade. My previous reporting at the Post has revealed that this New York Times article was mostly wrong. Elizondo was not the director of a Pentagon UFO program, and the Pentagon didn't even have a UFO program. Confusing, right? Well, in 2017, when the New York Times article came out, senior officials at the Pentagon were also confused, scrambling to figure out just what the heck this Elizondo guy was talking about. And that's what this document is. An accounting of how the Pentagon initially dealt with the UFO story. It was acquired via a Freedom of Information Act request filed by John Greenwald. Greenwald is an expert in government documents.
All right, he's taking too long to get to the point, so let's just go to John. What does John have to say? What's going on, John? All right. Newly released, and this is from the Black Vault, newly released internal DoD memos shed light on security concerns and chronicle chain of events, and the days and weeks that followed Lou Elizondo's resignation and UAP videos were published by the New York Times in December 2017. Despite public statements by the Pentagon asserting Lou Elizondo had no assigned role on ATIP, these memos show the DoD had made that determination back in late December of 2017, but for an unknown reason did not make it public. Details emerge in these documents that outline the security concerns and overall reasoning that led to the AFOSI, the Air Force Office of Special Investigation into the 2017-2018 leaks of 3 UAP videos. Now, calling it a leak is actually incorrect. A leak is something that's illegal. Maybe they were investigating whether it was actually illegal, and it was an alleged leak. But it was not a leak. It was illegal. There was a leak. It was very sneaky how they did it, but they did it in a legal way. Handwritten notes, likely made by former Secretary of Defense James Mattis, expressed concern over Lou Elizondo's resignation and sudden departure from the DoD, asking if it was a counterintelligence alarm. A new, never-before-made public resignation letter submitted by Luis Elizondo surfaces a second previously already made public resignation letter said to have uncertain provenance. Okay, so they're saying like the first one that we saw, the first resignation letter has unproven provenance, uncertain provenance. They're throwing that letter into question, and they're saying there's another one. Newly released documents from the DoD shed new light on the story of Lou Elizondo, the man who has publicly claimed leadership of the Pentagon's ATIP while studying UFOs. The documents date from whatever. One of the documents obtained by the Black Vault for their FOIA is a memorandum for record written by Gary Reed, the then Director for National Intelligence, Office of the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence. In this document, Reed calls into question Elizondo's role with ATIP, asserting that Elizondo had aggrandized his role in the program. Further to that, it was stated, to the best of Reed's knowledge, Elizondo had no responsibilities related to ATIP. So that's like the central claim of this That's what John Greenwald has tried to assert again and again and again, and Stephen Greenstreet as well, that Lou actually was not the director of ATIP, that he has made all the stuff up. These assertions provide a stark contrast to Elizondo's public claims of his involvement that was being reported by the mainstream media. These records prove that within a week of the New York Times publishing their article in 2017, which showcased Elizondo and also published 2 of the 3 now famous UAP videos, the DoD internally was already questioning Elizondo's involvement and exact role in the program. That stance on Elizondo well predates the Pentagon's controversial public statement by spokesperson Christopher Sherwood, first published in June of 2019 by The Intercept, denying his role within ATIP. In that article, it was said that by Sherwood, speaking on behalf of the Pentagon, that Elizondo had no responsibilities with regard to the ATIP program while he worked in the Office of Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence up until the time he resigned. But Elizondo's aggrandized claims regarding his role within ATIP were not the only thing the Pentagon was documenting and concerned about. The fact that the New York Times had obtained and published the 2 UAP videos became, the third wouldn't be published until March 2018, became an even bigger potential national security risk because based on the evidence the Pentagon had at the time, they feared classified information had officially leaked and was published by one of the biggest newspapers in the world. Anyway, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll let you read it at your leisure. I'll link to it below along with Stephen Greenstreet's video from the New York Post. But let's get into the debunkers, the debunking the debunk. Let's see, what have we got here? Elizondo's attorney clarified why there were 2 resignation letters. Elizondo's memorandum of resignation directed to John Garrity was simply an official notification to his direct supervisor. His resignation letter to the Secretary of Defense and the DoD was his explanation as to why he was resigning and expressing his concerns with the bureaucratic challenges and other issues that created hurdles for the investigation of UAP, which present national security concerns. Yes, Stephen Greenstreet responds, if you think if DoD wanted to discredit Lou, they'd have done so in 2017. Internally, they did not consider his claims credible, but it took nearly 2 years for them to deny his involvement in ALSAP ATIP. Anyone, and Mike Colangelo, I don't know how to say his name, correct me, tell me how to say that name. Anybody, he's a really good UFO researcher, and I really value his contributions, even if I can't say his name. He says, anyone who has been paying attention knows that Reed and Elizondo hate each other. And we're not talking Harry Reid, we're talking the other Reid, the guy I just talked about. And also, who was the stylometry expert that John Greenwald used? Or did he have an anonymous source tell him that was John Mattis who made those notes? Also, Reed is no longer DDI. And Stephen Greenstreet responds, it appears multiple senior officials, not just Reed, were confused and concerned by Lou's sudden departure to join a rock star's UFO company. I love how he discredits everything. Werewolves and UFOs. That's his takedown, right? You saw the screenshot just a second ago, or the cover that he used. So, I understand that werewolves sound pretty silly, but I guarantee you if you had one in your backyard, you wouldn't think it was silly. And that is exactly what Jay Stratton, a.k.a. Axelrod, experienced along with his family. This was a hitchhiker effect from Skinwalker Ranch. And when I say werewolf, you could, put in Dogman or Skinwalker, whatever you want to use. It was upright wolf-like being that was very scary. And, multiple people have encountered the Skinwalker either on the ranch or off the ranch. and or dogmen or whatever. And but that's just a thing that is the case. So I dismiss Stephen Greenstreet's dismissal because his mind is not open at all. And that's a shame because I had some hope for him in the first year of the Basement Office when he was co-hosting with Nick Pope, that his mind was open and that he was going to come around and be, a somewhat mainstream ally of UFO disclosure and in getting to the truth of this. But apparently he's peered too long into the abyss, Stephen Greenstreet, and he didn't like what he saw, and he turned tail and ran, and now he's denying the abyss even exists. The abyss doesn't exist, Stephen Greenstreet says. If you believe that, you believe in werewolves. Well, werewolves seem to be a thing, man. Dogmen, skinwalkers. Chris French says, to be fair, I just read the entire article. This is just a bunch of potentially uninteresting internal bureaucratic fights between Lou Reed, etc. And frankly, I don't care who's right or wrong. I want the truth. Yeah, well, me too. Me too. But this blanket refusal to look at the truth is the problem, and trying to shoot the messenger. And if you shoot the messenger, somehow that's going to invalidate the truth. That philosophy is a huge problem. But, think about this logically. It doesn't really matter if you trust Lou or not. All Lou did was get those 3 videos out. I mean, he said a lot of stuff, but that is his main claim to fame. That's what he did for ufology primarily, is to get those 3 videos out. So to discredit Lou, you have to discredit those 3 videos and those 3 encounters. We're talking the Nimitz incident, which there were many witnesses involved. Where we have to discredit Ryan Graves and all the pilots of the Roosevelt that saw these objects over a 2-year period. And the 2 of those videos came from those incidents. So you have to discredit all of that and all of those extremely credible witnesses and experiencers in order to discredit Lou. So attacking Lou doesn't make any sense. That's why I always get annoyed with people saying, "Oh, it was Lou is part of a psyop. He's a counterintelligence, so it's all a psyop." Well, fine, you can think that, but again, to discredit Lou, you have to discredit all of those cases and all of those people, for which there is ample evidence in testimony, and we know the names and faces of a lot of those people: Kevin Day, Ryan Graves, David Fravor, etc. So, attacking Lou is pointless. And this is all a waste of Stephen Greenstreet's time and John Greenwald's time if you can't undermine the foundation of what he did, which is to get those videos out. And I think it's also worth pointing out this right here from Alex DeLarge, the 2 Muppets, Stephen Greenstreet and John Greenwald, trying to claim Lou Elizondo didn't run ATIP program and still completely ignore Senator Harry Reid's letter confirming Lou Elizondo's duties. And here's the letter right now from Harry Reid. To whom it may concern, as the United States Senate Majority Leader, I work with Republican Senator Ted Stevens of Alaska and Democratic Senator Dan Inouye, I can't say that, tell me how to say that, of Hawaii, to secure $22 million of funding for what would become known as ATIP, an unclassified but unpublicized investigatory effort dedicated to studying UAP. As one of the original sponsors of ATIP, I can state as a matter of record Lou Elizondo's involvement and leadership role in this program. Boom, mic drop. But let me finish the letter. Mr. Elizondo is a former intelligence officer who spent his career working tirelessly in the shadows on sensitive national security matters, including investigating UAPs, as the head of ATIP. He performed these duties admirably. So there you go. Harry Reid setting the record straight, as others have as well. And Jay Stratton, who ran ATIP, worked with Lou. Yeah, Lou does not, he's not an isolated instance. He does not stand alone. There are people that work with him that know what he did, and they have come out in support of him. So, all this bashing is just ridiculous unless you can, again, undermine those 3 videos and all of those instances surrounding them. Again, Ryan Graves and his people were seeing these objects basically daily for a 2-year period. Was it 2015, 2016, something like that. So, that's a whole lot of cases, a whole lot of instances. And some of these objects were highly exotic, cubes within spheres or spheres within cubes, and performing fantastic maneuvers. So, debunk that, guys. Debunk the Nimitz incident, Stephen Greenstreet, John Greenwald. That is your mission if you want all of this to go away, if you want Lou to go away, if you want to marginalize or minimalize Lou, or say that he is aggrandizing his role in ATIP. You can say all that, but that's just empty words. That's just a baseless smear, a baseless attack, unless you can get rid of all those cases, unless you can debunk all those many cases and all those highly credible people. So this is ridiculous. This is a shame that it has come to this, where we have these camps that are drawn up, and you have camps within the UFO community. Steve Greer or John Greenwald and Steve Greenstreet that are so opposed to Lou Elizondo and spreading this silly narrative that Lou is, a charlatan or either that or a PSYOP agent. But as I have explained, that makes no sense because, you can say whatever you like about Lou. What he did was get those videos out. Unless you can, dismiss or debunk those videos and all of those many instances and people, going after Lou is pointless and a waste of time. So don't let any of this distract you guys or shake any of your faith. And that is the real harm that is being done, is that there are some people who would actually take these stupid claims seriously. There are people that support John Greenwald in his mission to destroy Lou. There are people that support Stephen Greer and Greenstreet and their similar missions for their own reasons. And why do we need this animosity and bickering in the UFO community? We should be focused on getting to the truth of UFOs, exploding the cover-up that is keeping this knowledge from us, and ultimately evolving our relationship with the ever-present phenomenon that has been here for a long time, potentially longer than we have, and which may or may not have had a hand in the creation of humanity. Who knows? We won't get to the truth until we can get rid of this silly nonsense and bickering. So let's get on the same team, guys, and get to the truth of this stuff and evolve our relationship with the phenomenon and with the truth in general, right? So those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and the bell to be notified of future videos. Join me on social media. There's plenty of other videos for you to check out on the channel. And until next time, this is Jack with Cosmic Road signing out.